Hey guys, welcome back to Sustainable Living. Today we are going to be picking beets and canning beets. We're going to make sugar beets, candy beets, or pickled beets, whatever you want to call it, but we're going to be doing pickled beets today, and we're going to take you along today. I want to thank everyone that has been following us on YouTube. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider subscribing. Remember, if you find this video useful, please give it a big thumbs up. What we're doing is we're not just picking all the beets. Some sections we are, but what we're doing is we're trying to thin the beets down and get to the medium to larger size beets so the smaller beets can continue to develop. I'll show you what it looks like when it's thin. You can see where we've pulled them out and they've been thinned out, and we've left some of these smaller guys down in there. You do want to thin your plants out so the beet will evenly proportion out in its development. That's one way to maximize your beets and get larger beets. When you get this size of beets, the size of a ping pong or a golf ball, preferably probably around the size of a golf ball, then you'll get that dark purple, rich purple color in your pickled beets. And that's what we're going for. These larger beets will start to fade out a little bit and you will get a less of a purple color. They'll still be beautiful and taste just fine, but this is the size we like right here, the ideal size. Trisha's gonna show us how to properly cut your beets. You wanna give them plenty of stem on the plant. You don't want to cut your beet right here at the top and then boil it. You'll lose all the color out of your beets. So you want to leave a good probably 2 inches on top of your beets heads so they don't lose their tops. And don't cut the bottoms either. They'll bleed out the bottoms and the top when you boil them. So what we're gonna do next is we're going to get our water up to boil, in which we will put our beets in to just get them cooked just long enough so the skin will start to slip. I'll show you when we get to that point. All right, the beets have been cooking for probably about 25-30 minutes right now. You don't want to cook them too long. You don't want them completely mush. You just want them cooked long enough so the skin will slip. Now when we pull this out of the hot water, we're gonna put them in a bucket so they cool quickly in ice water. And that'll help that core of that beet cool down so it doesn't continue to cook as it sets in the water. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And if they're not done all the way, then we will let them cook a little bit longer. That's why you want to probably separate your beets into size classifications. So these will start to slip really good. You can see how that skin just peels right off. And that's what you want. You can see the lighter the color, the larger the beet is. That's why you want to do the medium to smaller beets if you like to have a nice pretty presentation in your beets and have a nice beautiful purple beet. So Tricia is roughly cutting these pieces up to about 1 inch to 3/4 of an inch, whatever, basically bite size, and they'll fit in the jars, and then we'll put the brine on top of them. After your beets are cooked, you're gonna be left over with a brine in the bottom of your pan. You're gonna want to save some of this brine in order to make the brine that you're gonna be using to put on your beets that you're gonna put in the jars. Using this. Now you can see how dark and rich this stuff is. This is perfect for making our brine. So with our excess juice, we're just gonna feed it to our raspberries. When you make your brine, you don't wanna use any cheap apple cider vinegar. I go ahead and get the Heinz. If you use the cheap stuff, your beets will start to fade out. Use good quality sugar and make sure you have some good juice from your leftover cooking water. Now we're gonna bring this up to a simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm gonna go ahead and stir this until the sugar is completely dissolved so we don't get any scorching on the bottom of the pan. Before we start using the brine, we're gonna fill up the jars, and on the bottom of these jars, we're gonna put a bay leaf in each jar. And then we'll put our beets on top and then put our brine. I will provide the recipe in the description box below. If you have any air bubbles when you put this in the steamer, you run a high potential of actual breaking the jar. So what we're doing now is we're taking a plastic butter knife and we're going down the sides of the jar to burp any air bubbles. The next process will be wiping the rings and then putting the lids on that have been in some hot boiling water to soften the seal. What we are doing in this point of the canning process, we are water bathing the beets for 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes, we are then taking the beets out. We are then putting them on a towel where we will cover them so the heat will slowly dissipate and let the beets slowly seal. We have been canning beets like this for many years. It wasn't until this year that my mom explained to me that this recipe came from my Grandma Johnson. So this made it much more special for me to share this recipe with you. If you found this video to be helpful, please share it.